What happens when we die? Is there an afterlife? Do we go to heaven? Or even worse, hell? Can we communicate with the dead? And if we can, should we? Let's find out.
What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 6 of San Pedro Paranormal. As always, I'm here with my longtime friend and co-host Carlos, and I am your host Tony. As you can see, we're not alone today. We actually have our first guest on the show. She's a pinup model. She's done music videos. She does what do they call it when you dress up for the anime stuff?
The cosplay.
Cosplay. I'm all lost. I'm kind of nervous. We've never had a guest. I'm kind of all excited and nervous at the same time. Yeah. So we have with us Chrissy, aka Whiskey Doll. So why don't we start? You know what? Before we start today's topic, why don't we start with letting Chrissy, talk a bit about how she got started with the modeling stuff. Chrissy.
Well, I started. I want to say about 5 years ago. I got into it. Was on Instagram, was always looking at the old cars and the girls all dressed up, and then I seen an ad actually placed for a pinup group if I wanted to be a part of it. So got over my fear of being shy and just answered it, and I got called out to downtown LA of all places to go meet up with the person who runs it. And I got to meet all the girls, and it was just, I met a lot of people. I actually still talk to a lot of them today. Right. It's just one of those where you get into it and you fall in love with it right away. Mm-hmm. And everybody is usually helpful. I mean, it has its moments, not gonna lie.
So it's good for socializing. You made a lot of friends, and you just dove into it and just felt comfortable.
Yeah, I fell right into it right away. It's like I was so comfortable in it, and it's just met my friends that I do everything with through there. I mean, I never would have met them had it not have been for that. So it's like, you get over your fear and just get out there and do what you love. I
think we're going through that right now ourselves with this YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we got so used to just doing it Carlos and myself. Yeah. So right now, we have an audience here. We actually have Chrissy's daughters with us here.
Yes.
So I'm just a little shaky. But
they're judging us right now.
Yeah. So, what? One of the reasons we have Chrissy with us was because today's topic is going to be, we're going to be talking about haunted houses and why it is that some people seem to be more affected than others. Because there's been cases where there's the Jackie Hernandez case that we talked about on the first episode. How, she moved in and she had all kinds of things happen, but then once she moved out and other families moved in, the activity stopped.
Right.
And Chrissy seems to have that gift of, where, because you've lived in more than one house that has activity, right?
Yeah, quite a few, about maybe 3 or 4 now. So
okay.
It's like we're trying to figure out, are we drawn to these houses?
Mm-hmm.
Is it just we happen to pick these houses, or is it us? We're not quite sure.
Yeah.
So you have stalkers in real life and stalkers in the spirit life.
True, this is true. Just can't win.
So when was the first time you at least the first time you remember having something happen to you? Like, were you a kid or were you already an adult?
Yeah, I mean, when I was little, I don't remember. All I know is it kind of started around when I was in my teenage years, which is usually when they say
Mm-hmm.
I did mess around with the Ouija board.
Oh,
a couple of times.
Okay.
Kept it in my room, under my bed, worst things you can do.
So, I mean, did the activity start before the Ouija board, or was it
I
after?
don't remember. I was
Okay.
trying to think back to, the earliest thing I can remember, and I honestly...
You don't remember?
Yeah,
Okay.
I cannot remember. But I know, closer towards, my teenagers, when we started doing that, we were playing... we had gone to a cabin in Big Bear, and there was a bunch of us kids, all teens. We're like, it's fun, it's midnight, let's do the Ouija board. So we did it, and we were asking the ghost where it was, and it had said it was between me and one of my male cousins, we're about this distance. And they're like, well, you know, how are you going to make yourself known? Like, you know, prove it. And it just spelled out the word cold. I believe it was cold or something. And somebody went between us, and they felt it cold. And they went between everybody else, and there was nothing. It was just that spot right between us two. And then things just started happening that whole night. I was sharing a room with one of my cousins, and we had an old armoire at the foot of the bed. There was a door to the attic on the wall, and it had a electric blanket. Well, we were woken up, I think like maybe 2, 3 in the morning. The electric blanket was turned all the way up, so we were like sweating, dying. I mean, that thing was like super hot. The attic door was swung open, and then we don't remember if there was a shape on the armoire before or after, but it did look like a figure with like kind of like horns. So we're like, we don't know if we're just scared and we saw that, or if that was already there, or I mean, it was just like we got really scared, and we're like, okay, we're not doing this no more.
And I mean, that's crazy because we had the whole Ouija board episode, and in that episode we were debating if it was real or not real. But when you played the Ouija board, did it ever move just when you were touching it, or did it have to be 2 people?
I don't think I've ever tried it by myself.
Okay.
It's always been me and somebody else, or like more than 1 or 2 people. And then I want to say the second or the other couple times was in my room in my house. We're playing, me and my friends. We were asking it, just trying, I guess, to make it prove, like, you know.
That it moved and stuff.
Yeah, like, you know, like 2 people that didn't know what was going on. Somebody would ask the question who'd know the answer, and it would move, and it would answer it correctly. So it's just kind of like, you know, weird stuff like that.
So that kind of proves that it's real.
Yeah, it kind of did. It was just like, it kind of, not a coincidence. I mean, like, how you gonna spell out a color?
I mean,
that
can you say right now that you're 100% like sure that it works? Or is there still a little bit of doubt in you?
Well, I want to keep doubt. I want to be like, okay, you know, everything's explainable, or, you know, scientifically or something. But it's like, if you can't explain it, it's like, I mean, what else?
Well, human nature, I guess, to try to, you know, like find a reason why.
Yeah, it's like, try to debunk it or something.
Right, that's where my mind is pretty much at this moment where it's at right now, because I haven't seen anything or witnessed anything. Yeah. And even out on the field, we haven't gotten much out there, but we haven't recorded.
Well, we haven't really done much yet,
except for that one thing. So, but that's still.
Oh, here.
In here, where
that's right. That's right. We had when we were filming the first episode, the Jackie Hernandez case. We actually had a moment where you were doing editing, or you were doing sound checks or something.
On this side where Chrissy's sitting, and I was doing editing, and you were taking notes, I believe, on the laptop. Yeah. And all of a sudden, this is from actually a night of going out and doing EVPs. We came back, and during what we were just discussing right now, we heard something. It was a voice between Tony and myself. And it wasn't like a voice between both of our ears. It was just something that was inside that was just it whispered something.
Yeah, it wasn't a sound that was in the garage, because the thing is, we only heard it from one side. I heard it from this side of my, this ear, and he heard it from the, his right ear.
But I had headphones on, so it was kind of a...
So, I mean, you would think if the voice was in here, you would hear it through both ears, not just one side, which was kind of strange.
And the audio would bounce around, the sound would bounce because of the way the garage is set up and all that. But it wasn't like that.
Yeah, so, I mean, one of the things that I was thinking about it today, like how certain people get haunted and certain people don't. What I was thinking is, if spirits are, people that have passed away, ghosts and stuff, wouldn't it be almost the same like with real people, where there's I don't know if you've ever had, well, I'm pretty sure you have, but there's always like a person that that everybody likes, or is it that you'll talk about the person like, oh, no matter who meets this person, everybody kind of gravitates towards them. Right. So I'm thinking, with the spirits, what if it's the same thing? There's a certain type of person that that attracts these entities or or ghosts,
spirits, ghosts, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and that's I think that's the reason why these people could move to different houses and always have some kind of experience going on. So I think that's at least my theory. It's
like energy, right? You have positive and negative attractions. Should be like a magnet.
Who's more open to like receiving their message or whatever they want to see? Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, because I mean, there's like I said before, there's people. It's like the Amityville horror house. There that family that moved in, and then they like freaked out and left all their stuff and took off. And then families that moved in after, nothing happened. So then they think it's all fake, and yeah. But yeah, so your first experience, you said, was it here in San Pedro? No, right?
No, I'm gonna say I'm gonna start there. That was in Big Bear, but I mean.
Big Bear. Oh, when you did the
that was
board.
the cabin. Yeah, that's where I want to say it started.
That's where it started. And then from there it went on to your.
It went on, and then there was just like the houses, just like weird, creepy things.
I know there was one house, right, when you guys saw children.
Okay. There was a house we lived in on Wilmington. That was, I want to say, the most haunted house that we've lived in. Everybody who went in there saw something, heard something, felt something. It was just like, nope, I'm not coming back to your house. It's just one of those houses where they're like, nope.
Wow.
And it was a 2-story house, and I stayed in the master bedroom. It was me and my kids and my boyfriend at the time. And I want to say that room was the one who had the most
activity.
The most activity. It had a walk-in closet, and if you did not close that door at night, I mean, you're gonna hear things, see things all night long. We're like, nope, you better make sure that door is closed because I do not want to see nothing.
What are some of the things that you've seen going through this closet?
When you're in there, you just feel automatically like, okay, right. I need to hurry up, get what I need to get out, because you just feel like you're not in there by yourself. You just feels you feel somebody watching you. And we had it stuffed with like a whole bunch of stuff. So it's kind of like, okay, anything could be back there watching you between the clothes, the boxes, it was a pretty big closet.
How about outside when you're sleeping or in the hallway?
When you're sleeping?
Do you see things like coming through?
Yeah, I mean, throughout the whole house. It was just crazy. Like the stairway going up, you constantly see things walking back and forth which was my room across the bathroom, which had a double door. You can go in one way and out into our room. So you would see things constantly just walking back and forth, and then, or actually coming down the stairs. So you turn, and halfway down the stairs, it'd be gone. Just
vanishes.
Yeah, and there was a night too. I remember I was in my room. My brother was there, and I want to say my other brother or my sister-in-law. I cannot remember who the third person was. The lights in the hallway just flashed on and off, like if somebody was flicking them by themselves. And my mom used to do that to get our attention. So we all came out looking like, okay, what did you need to tell us? She wasn't home. There was nobody. It was just us upstairs, and that light was flickering on and off by itself.
Wow.
So you weren't the only one that experienced this stuff.
No.
It was your family.
Like I said, everybody in that room. And then people would hear a little girl singing. My mom saw the little girl. She freaked out so much. She started crying. She's like, I saw her. I know I saw her. She was crying. We used to have a parrot, and we kept it outside. And we usually bring it in at night, but we were having a party, and we had a bunch of people over, and the bird was outside, and we totally forgot to bring him in. Something we don't think was a cat or an animal got the cage. It was a pretty heavy cage for like a whole, for a parrot, they're pretty big. That thing was thrown. I don't want to say just pushed, because it pushed, it would have just fell over. Right. That thing was thrown.
If it were a cat or a raccoon, it would have been right next to where it was, but this thing was across the way.
It was thrown. I mean, the bottom part was separated from the top part, and it was way over there. Like something hit that thing hard, and the bird was freaking out, and he ended up hurting himself pretty bad, and he unfortunately didn't make it. But something went after the bird.
That's unfortunate.
So, yeah. He missed that bird.
Yeah,
cool.
Wow.
And you know what? I was going to ask you, have you ever experienced something like when you're out doing a shoot and stuff?
Doing a shoot? No, honestly, I haven't on shoots, thankfully.
Yeah, because sometimes you hear about certain occasions where a person that's sensitive to hauntings and stuff, they'll like if they have friends around them, they'll actually kind of attach a little to whoever hangs out with them, and they'll take a little bit of the haunting with them, and then after a while it dissipates.
Okay.
But that's why I was asking, because How about in your car?
Oh yeah, my car all the time. Okay, in my car
the car problems.
Yeah. No,
but I mean, in your car, has it been at your house or just when you're on the road?
It's just everywhere. It's not even in my own car. It's any car that I'm in. It's a weird thing that I don't want to say that I have, but like I'll get these weird smells every once in a while. Like I'll just be driving, all of a sudden I'll smell like somebody just made like a fresh cup of coffee or put strawberries or something, and it's just like out of nowhere, and it'll last for like a while, and then it'll like just go away as fast as it came. It'll just go away, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what the heck that was.
Yeah.
And I get cigarette or tobacco smell a lot. So I'm trying to figure out like what that means.
That's interesting because my dad has a house in Needles too, and there's some activity there, or there was. And before something would happen, like scratching at the door or whatever it may be, there was always a scent of flowers before the apparition would come out.
I looked into it a little bit, but you know, the internet doesn't really. It gives you a lot of everything, but it says like it's usually like somebody you know in this life. I was like, but I don't know anybody who smoked really like that. So it's like I don't know who that tobacco smell is. And the thing with that one, I think was it that one, or was it a smell of like guayabas?
Okay.
I can't remember which one it was, but I was driving, and I smelled it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to pay attention to see like what it's telling me. So as I'm like looking around, like, okay, do I see any signs or anything? You know, I started slowing down, and as soon as I slowed down, like an 18-wheeler just pulled right in front of me and took off on the off ramp. If I did not slow down, he would have took me out. I would be gone, like my whole car, everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so that's what that was.
Like a guardian angel?
Exactly, and I was like, okay, I never smell that smell ever again. So I was like, all right, so maybe that's what that was. But the other ones, I don't know if it's just maybe it's somewhere and I'm just not seeing it, or you know what it means, or so I'm kind of trying to look into that.
Great, yeah, that's something we should all look into.
Have you ever been to like see a psychic or anything?
No, I've never actually been to that.
I think that'd be interesting because you know they might tell you that you might have some kind of sixth sense or something.
Yeah, that's what
because I mean, because you have so many things happen to you. You know?
Yeah, but it's like the story with the little boy. All those dead people, their spirits would come to him to solve some sort of problem. Maybe this is happening to you in a way.
That's kind of
Yeah, and it's crazy because it doesn't just happen at your house. It's everywhere you go. So
Yeah.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened at a shoot.
No, thankfully it hasn't.
Maybe because there's so much activity with other people, socializing.
Or maybe it does happen and you don't notice it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I probably just don't pay attention because I'm like so trying to just do what I gotta do and out. But I do. We do go to a lot of abandoned places, me and my boyfriend. And one thing is me, him, and one of his friends. We went to go visit the. I can't remember the name of the jail. It's an abandoned jail in I want to say L.A. And we pulled up to it, and the security guard's like, "Oh, go ahead, park in front of the building, you know, like on the sidewalk, because they had their classic cars." So he's like, "Yeah, don't leave them on the street." He's like, "Go ahead and park on the front of the building." So they parked them there. We went around, we're looking in the windows and everything, and he hopefully I don't get him in trouble, but he let us go through the back, not in the building, but we got to see the building from the back. So we're like, you know, trying to take pictures, see if we catch anything, some video, like, you know, sticking our hand in the window trying to catch something.
Yeah, having a good time with it.
Yeah, so we went back and we're like, okay, you know, nothing happened. We're talking, I'm getting his stories. He's like, oh yeah, you hear people crying in there, you hear like people screaming, you hear noises, but there's nobody in there. And then so as we're leaving, they're trying to start the cars wouldn't start.
Neither of the cars
would start. So they're like trying to, you know, do what they can. We got one started, but the other one that was closest to the building did not want to start at all. So we were there for about a good maybe.
And these are old cars.
Yeah, classic
They're not
cars.
new cars with computers and everything. It's just old cars. So
they were old cars.
Now you usually wouldn't have that kind of problem.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So it was just like weird. I mean, they didn't have those problems before. And it's just like we're parked right here. All of a sudden now they don't want to start at all. And
yeah, because normally when you drive out in those old cars, you make sure they're maintained right. The distributor and it has spark and everything. It's good because it's an old car. You're always working on it, and to have it fail like that all of a sudden.
It is just like completely dead. Just nothing. And so we're sitting there, we're talking for a while, like, okay, what are we gonna do? You know, whatever. We shouldn't have come. Blah blah blah. blah. Tried it again. Started right back up. No problems. It was just like, okay, now you guys can go.
Yeah, it was tired of you guys.
It was like, all right, you're boring. You're not doing nothing. So yeah, I thought that was pretty weird.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a good feeling that it's her.
You think so?
That it's her. That they follow her.
Yeah. I want to say because I'm the one that's kind of most open to it. Like my mom wants nothing to do with it. My brother's kind of, but doesn't really want to mess with that stuff. I'm the one that's like, okay, bring it. Let's go here. Let's go there. So we're like, okay, we're gonna get hurt.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, well, there are other family members that I don't think I should say their names, but they also have that sense also where they've seen stuff in the past too. So it's all in relation. I guess you have something special there.
It might
in the bloodline.
Yeah, in the bloodline.
So I know there's quite a few on this side, and I have I want to say on my mom's side of the family's a weird thing that I want to just kind of put out there. It's my little theory. We used to have, my grandmother used to read the tarot cards. That was her thing. It was passed down from I don't know how long ago. But all of a sudden she was reading cards and she just stopped one day. She's like, nope, I'm not doing this no more. She hid her card. She's like, you guys will never find them. I'm not doing this. I'm not passing down this tradition. This gift. I was like, okay, so I want to know what happened with that. Yeah, she had to have seen something, done something, and something. Maybe it's something
or a final reading that she got, and that's it. I'm not gonna do this anymore because I'm scared for myself and my family.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, something. She said all she said was like, this ends with me, or basically to that point. I don't know the exact words, but I was just like, ooh, okay, a little bit more into that. So I know there's something going on that from that side too, but.
And you know what? We are going to be having. I don't know if it's the next episode, but probably the one after that. We're going to be having a tarot card reader. We're going to be interviewing a tarot card reader and a psychic. So maybe we'll ask about you.
Very neat. That's good.
Yeah,
excited about that one too.
Yeah, we have a tarot card reader in LA that contacted me through the Facebook. So I think that one should be fun.
That'd be great.
Yeah, and we'll ask about you.
Yeah.
You never know. Maybe they'll.
Help me out.
Can you help? Yeah,
let me know what's going on.
She's
like, what's wrong with me?
She puts the cards down and she walks away. No, this is.
She's like, I'm done. I'm never doing this ever again. Oh my god.
Yeah, but it's crazy that you mentioned how you mentioned that sometimes it runs in the family, in the bloodline, because in my family from my mom's side, there's a lot of that. We have a lot of mediums and like psychics, and from my great grandmother to my grandmother, and my mom kind of just completely flipped. Like, she wants nothing to do with anything like that. I don't even think she knows I'm doing the YouTube video.
Yeah.
Well, maybe now she does. But yeah, it's funny that interest like in your family, because it continued with myself. I've always had that curiosity since I was a kid. Is there something else out there?
Right.
So, but you said you never experienced anything.
Never in my life until that day that we were right here.
When you were
that
here.
was the first time and the only time so far.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm still a skeptic, but I mean, if it's there, it's there.
And what's funny that we've gotten like recordings and stuff, but I'm still skeptic about it too. I don't know why. It's like with the Ouija board. I still.
You should hang out with me.
That's what I was thinking. We should have you again as a guest again. That'd be great.
Oh yeah, I think that'd be cool. And maybe even take her on one of the what do you call it, the investigations.
And we'll do
because if you attract that, that gives us more chance of actually capturing something on video.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh, so you guys should have gone to my apartment in Paramount that I live with my boyfriend. It doesn't happen as much anymore. He used to collect antiques like furniture and radios, and he had his whole house filled with them. A lot of weird stuff.
A lot of stuff would happen.
And he's actually selling them off, so he got rid of a lot of them, and it's.
So you're saying they're attached to a spirit, each one of these little trinkets.
So it's like it's something that he sold recently. We haven't had any problems with it.
Oh, okay, so it's gone now.
Yeah, I mean, he still has an organ from like the 1800s that one of his cousins, when she stayed over, it doesn't work. The thing doesn't work. She said she heard it playing. Like somebody was tapping the keys, like she heard it play. She's like, I know I heard it because it woke me up.
Wow.
So she heard that. Yeah, and then I've actually seen something in there. Everyone hears it, but I think I'm the only one that's seen it. I was in the kitchen, and the kitchen has like a little counter, and the sink's here, and you can look directly into the room. And with the light off, it's pitch black. So he had friends over again. I was in the kitchen doing something. I look up, and I seen somebody walk across the room. And I told him, I go, who's in the room? And he's like, nobody's in the room. He goes, it's just us here. I'm like, no, somebody's in the room. So I walked in there, and of course, there's nobody in there. He's like, what do you do? He's like, I swear I saw it walk from this side to that side. I can tell you what it was wearing. It had a gray sweater on with a hood, had his hands in his jeans, looked right at me, and just walked right by.
Wow.
I go, if you show me pictures, I can pick out his face. I go, that's how clear I saw it.
Really?
But I haven't seen it.
You should get a sketch artist.
Yeah, I know. We haven't seen it or anything since then, though. So I think everything's pretty much gone.
Yeah. And you know what? That's one thing that kind of also keeps me kind of like not believing 100% is that, and I think a lot of people probably think the same way, is that the people that always get to see these things and experience these things, it's always the same people. So then the ones that like us that don't get to see it, you know, it's kind of like, is this person lying or you know? So
does she want attention? Does she want to go on YouTube and get more likes or?
I just want to be on an episode.
Yeah, but and you know what? The house you live in now here in San Pedro, that one, you know, I think I told you I got to see that house before you guys actually moved into it. Before it even got remodeled, you know, when it was like all old school looking and all the, I think the inside was all like, you know, the walls were all like falling apart and stuff. But when I went to see that house, I actually, you know, I was with a friend of mine and I got some weird vibes from that house. You know,
Really?
I did.
I used to get it from the garage because we had a lot of old furniture in there, but we got rid of a whole bunch of stuff, and since then it's all
went
fine.
away.
Yeah. That's the only place I ever felt uncomfortable is in the garage.
Yeah. Well, I didn't feel uncomfortable, but I just, you know, you just feel strange.
Mm-hmm.
So then once you know, once you guys moved in and you started, you know, like sharing your stuff on Facebook about the stuff that was happening, I was like, I knew there was something. I knew there was something there. But yeah.
Like, we have stuff pass through there, but nothing stays there. Like, we'll have months where nothing, and then me and my brother will hear something or see something, and then months go by. So it's like something will come through, but it won't stay there. I think the worst incident we had was we were on vacation. We're gone for about a week, and we were fine. Everybody was happy. As soon as we got back in the house, everybody just started yelling at each other. You know, everything just went downhill. Like screaming at each other. Like we all just. I don't know how to
like
explain
a lot of
it.
tension or something.
Yeah, like the minute we got in the house, it was weird. And then my two dogs went at it. They fight, but they drew blood on each other. I mean, they cut each other bad.
Okay.
They were bleeding, and we had to
Alright.
pull them apart, and we couldn't figure out what it was. And then all of a sudden, there was this smell in the house. It was like a bad, like sulfurish. Bad
And you know
smell.
what? That's weird because that
That's
seems to
because it's
happen a
something
lot.
demonic. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems to happen a lot where there's that stinky smell, and it's usually a bad. You know.
Yeah, and it was
That
just
one makes
weird. It was
scary.
like something had gone there because the house was empty for about a week, except for the person coming to feed the dogs.
And the person that fed the dog didn't say anything.
I don't think so. No, they didn't say anything. They just
Or
came
they
in,
just
sat him, and
experienced
left.
something. They probably just don't want to
Yeah,
say
I know.
anything.
They didn't tell us even if they
Like,
did.
nope,
But
did
it
not
was
see
just-
that.
Yeah, but I know it's like
Here you go,
they probably just figured, okay, it's an empty house. Let me whatever.
He's like, no, that dog didn't just levitate by itself. It was my imagination. Also, your pets actually reacted to it too.
Yeah, and then they went at it. It was just like the minute we walked in, it was the weirdest thing. We were all happy, pulling our stuff in. We had just come back from vacation, and it was just like, boom. We
So
were
when you
all
walked,
going
so
at
when
it.
you walked in, you had that smell right away.
No, this was actually after all this. So like that all happened.
You don't think that maybe because I, you know, like I said, I have a feeling that you're the one that attracts these things. You don't think sometimes when you go somewhere, you attach something to you and take it with you, and maybe that's what happens. And that's why after a while it kind of just goes away, and then you leave again, come back, bring something else.
Yeah, that's probably
The
me.
sixth
attracting
sense, right?
everything.
Yeah.
That makes sense, yeah.
Like
I mean,
if it-
for the animals
yeah.
to all of a sudden just go nuts like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm pretty sure sometimes you bring like regular spirits, and then
Right.
sometimes bring
Moderate.
the crazy, violent
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
It is. That's
Yeah.
crazy. But,
That's a great story. Yeah.
yeah. But I do think it's like if you're open to it, if you're more like, okay, there is something, or let me see something, they're gonna be more attracted to that person. The other person's like, no, it's not true. Prove it to me.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're the easier one, so here, let me show you so you can explain or whatever. But
Well, I kind
That's
of, I kind of think about it like the opposite of that. I think sometimes, because I know you're like you have a very strong character, and I think that's what attracts them. It's not so much like, oh yeah, I'm open to it. I think it's that strong personality that sometimes
Probably some
attracts.
strength too. Yeah.
Something to feed off.
maybe.
So
Like this girl can handle it. Let's give her everything we've got.
yeah.
It's like I think I've only gotten scared twice, and that's when I actually seen them and heard them like at the same time. I was like, oh shit.
Also, you actually saw something and heard
it was. We were living in right here off of 3rd Street behind my grandparents' house. We were living in like it was a garage, but they had attached a room. They redid it to be like a house. Well, we were sleeping there, and it was, I don't remember what time at night. I was laying on the couch, and my brother, when he's there, he used to have a habit of coming from the room, looking around, checking on us, going to the bathroom. So I seen what I thought was him come around, look to the couch, but I was laying there and I looked over at it and it walked toward me and it squatted down and it just said, "Hey." I was like, "Shit, that's not my brother."
Oh, so you could tell by the voice?
Yeah. Like it was whispering like, "Hey," like trying to get my attention. I was just like, "Oh shit."
But you couldn't see the face.
I couldn't see. It was
Okay.
dark. It was pitch black.
Oh,
But
okay.
you could, you know how you
So
can
you
see in
just
the
thought
dark
you-
like
yeah,
it's
so you
somebody.
just thought it was your brother.
Yeah, I thought it was my brother, but yeah.
But when
And,
the
and you
voice
felt
came.
the weights also on the sofa?
No,
Or?
all I saw was it come. It's like squatted down, like to my face level.
Oh, it's
'cause
squatted
I was
down,
laying
okay.
on the
It didn't
couch,
sit.
yeah. And it said "Hey," and that's all. I was like, "Oh my god!" I put the blanket so fast. I was like, "No, I can't do this right now." I was like, "I'm not ready for this."
That's crazy.
And you had a sense that someone was walking towards you, like the steps or anything?
Yeah, like I
the
said,
creaking
I
or-
thought it was my brother.
Yeah.
Like I seen
So you
it.
kind of just expected it to be your
Yeah,
brother.
so I
Right,
seen
yeah.
it come through the door, walk towards the bathroom, walk around the couch, and then walk straight toward me and squat down and say that. And that's I've ever heard. And that happened to me twice.
And so this was the room that was an addition.
Yeah, this was in the added room. So
That's crazy. I actually have a family member that they used to live on Bandini Street. I won't say the names, but they lived on Bandini and First Street, and they also had a thing where like my uncle, he added a room to the house, and that was my cousin's room, you know, and she would see it. Like once they got the room ready and she started sleeping in it, like in the middle of the night, she would see someone walk in. I guess the lights were off, so it wasn't like she could see like, you know, the detail and stuff. But she would see somebody, like a shadow of somebody walk in through one wall and walk out the other wall. So,
Wow.
I mean that's
crazy.
that's crazy.
That is-
Yeah, but I mean, who knows? You know what? I
Yeah.
that's it. Somebody on that watches our videos actually emailed me, and that person said that I should do some shirts that says "Who knows," because that's one of the things I always say on every video.
Your little tagline.
Every video, like who knows?
We were just talking about this.
Yeah, who knows?
His was who knows, and mine's fascinating.
Wonderful.
Mostly fascinating than anything.
Yeah, but yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you're lucky. You're lucky that you get to actually be, you know, because like for us,
Not lucky. But
you know, for us that we actually, this is, you know, we're trying to catch something or you know, hear something,
Yeah.
see something, and it's so difficult to do. But I mean, for someone that has the ability, you know, it's
Just conjure something by accident or just living.
yeah,
their lives and it just comes
we're
up.
we're hoping
Yeah.
that we'll stumble into something, you know. But I mean, if I had that gift, I just stay here all the time and just record here.
Yeah.
But,
Definitely.
yeah. But anyways, is there anything you would like to plug in? Like, you know, for like the pictures we showed, because we did show some pictures while you were, you know, introducing yourself and stuff. Any photographers
the photographers
or your
were-
Instagram or your.
So with the Instagram, anything social media?
So my Instagram is Whiskey Doll, and some of the photographers I believe that they're gonna show are Photo Spectre, John Lopez Photography. That's my boy right there. Do not remember the picture you showed me. Sorry, short-term memory.
Yeah. Yes.
Are there any events or any shoots that
Oh, yeah,
you'll be
anything
doing
coming
pretty
up?
soon? Anything coming up?
Events and shoots.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in talks with the shoot with the photographer. We don't know. We haven't set a date or anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be with the Chevelle. We don't have that lined up yet.
Okay.
But yeah. Other than that, I don't.
Any more music videos on the way?
No music videos. No calendars.
How about Viva Las Vegas? You'll be there, right? This year or?
This year, I'm not sure
No?
if I'm going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not sure yet. Okay.
Yeah, not sure yet.
sure
I
yet.
did go to Rockabilly Reunion in Arizona, which is pretty amazing. It was
Okay.
pretty cool. It was fun.
Great.
We stopped by a lot of abandoned places there. Oh, I have a story for to tell you about that one.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had found an abandoned house. My boyfriend Richard had been there before. He goes, yeah, there's like a huge tree fell right over on top of it. I guess the people just left all their stuff in the house. So we were in there, and we had brought our dog along on this trip. So we left the dog in the car, and we were in the house. And the whole time we were in the house, she was just howling and screaming and batting at the window and was just making all kinds of noise and barking, and just she was going nuts. So we finally came back, and we had to like calm her down. She was like, she went
Nervous.
nuts. Yeah. And then we had also later that day went actually not that time. We had gone up north to Santa Maria to the haunted forest, and she was completely fine there. I mean, she was running around in the tree. She was doing her thing. It was just like that one house.
Just that one house.
We've never seen her act like that before that or after that. It's just she freaked out. I think that was pretty crazy. Yeah. Like we had to literally hold her and calm her down. She freaked. She did not want us in that house.
Yeah, sad for the dog, but 2 dog stories now. That's awesome. Yeah.
I think you should start carrying well, you know what you have? You could use your cell phone. You know, your digital recorder, and try capturing some EVPs wherever you go. Because I'm pretty sure you'll capture something, and then we can share it here. Take advantage of it.
I'll do the dirty work for you.
We'll throw some free shirts your way.
Get a who knows, and it's fascinating.
Who knows? Was there any shout outs you wanted to do? Just shout outs? Your boyfriend?
My boyfriend Richard.
He's in a band, right?
Yes, he's in the Thirsty Crows.
Thirsty Crows.
Yes.
Thirsty Crows.
They're a psychobilly group. They're actually playing. I cannot remember the date. I'm so horrible at remembering things. I'll have to ask him and get into it.
Maybe they can check you have an Instagram?
They do.
Oh, yeah,
Their
share it on
Instagram
the
is the
Instagram.
Thirsty Crows. You can buy merch. They have a whole bunch of cool stuff. They're awesome. They're working on new music. They have albums out.
Okay.
All right. Great. How about you, Carlos? Anything you want to mention before?
No.
No?
We covered a lot of bases, especially what's happened with Chrissy. And great stories, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing them.
Yeah. And maybe you could come back on a different episode.
Yes. Yeah. We'll be glad to have you back.
Yeah, share some
Because
I'm pretty sure this is not the end of it, right? There's gonna be other things that happen.
Other things that happen, and
maybe stuff you forgot to mention now that you can
and if
mention
stuff
next
happens,
time.
I'll just send you a little, hey, guess what happened?
Yeah, we'll probably do a part 2.
And if stuff happens here after I leave, then you know it was me.
Yeah.
Then you will know it is me.
We'll save it for part 2, and then you can come up with your own catchphrase too. You know?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm never having you to my house again.
Yeah. But you know what, guys? Before we go, I do want to do some what do they call it? Honorable mentions. Right? We had a film director that does. He used to be a paranormal investigator before this, and he does documentaries now. And he made 2 films. Well, these 2 documentaries here that are of people doing investigations, and he sent them to us for free, so we could review them. So we're gonna review these on a future episode. It's Hotel Camarillo and Night Stalker. So I wanna thank Wayne Poe for these. And he does have a Instagram that you could follow him on also, Wayne Poe. And also I wanted to do a shout out to Chuck Bryan. He's I think he's a local here in San Pedro. He messaged me about he watched one of our episodes on the Fort MacArthur, the failed episode.
Yes, yeah, that was a fun
and
one.
he told me that he has a book that he wrote about San Pedro hauntings that we could actually purchase at the Grand Emporium on 7th Street. Have you heard about that? Have you heard about that store? No.
No, I haven't walked through there in a while, but I'll be down there soon.
Yeah, so he
definitely gonna pick that one up.
Yeah, so it's called Haunted San Pedro. Okay. So we got to look into that. And I actually did. It's what I told you that I was going to mention. That I haven't told you about it. But
the surprise.
Yeah, surprise.
Okay.
Like a shout out. We have there's a person I know. His name is Jesse Munoz, and he's a member of They have a train club at Angels Gate. Remember that building we were by, that big building that I told you they had like a model trains and stuff?
Yes.
Well, anyways, he's a club member, and he contacted me to see if we wanted to do an investigation there.
Nice.
And he gives us permission, so we don't have to be all.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, we don't have to be like hiding like at Fort MacArthur and stuff.
Sneaking around. Thank you so much.
So I wanted
great.
to do a shout out to Jesse Munoz, for that invitation. And I actually already went and I did a little walkthrough. So it's gonna be cool because they have a lot of like all these little old model trains, and he told me that a lot of the members have already passed away.
Oh.
So you know how a lot of times people get attached to certain places where they're used to being, and sometimes friends become like family. So I do believe some of those members probably still hang around there.
Right.
So that's gonna be That's gonna be probably 2 or 3 episodes from now, because we do have to take our equipment and everything there. Yeah. But also, quick shout out to Nicole 6. She's the tarot card reader that's gonna be doing the interview with us. Nicole 6 on Instagram, and there was one more. There's a person on YouTube that, Doña Junta. That's the YouTube name. Okay. But she's always putting very positive comments on our videos. So I told her I would do a shout out, and she was also giving us some ideas. She actually said what you said about the Fort MacArthur doing the investigation, kind of like secretly.
Oh, okay.
And she was saying that maybe we should like pretend like we have pet dogs and we're walking dogs and stuff, and just sneak in like that. So a shout out to Doña Junta.
Thank you so much.
And also Bada Beans. It's another YouTuber that wanted me to give him a shout out. Right, so shout out to you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. And I wanted to thank Chrissy, Whiskey Doll, for being here with us. And you know what? Before you go, before we stop, I know your kids are here, and I shouldn't be giving you this, but I wanted to give you this as a thank you for being here with us.
Oh my God, it's so cool.
You gotta blur it.
Oh yeah, okay. Don't promote.
It's
I wonder what it is.
Maple syrup.
What it is.
Yes.
It's a ghostly maple syrup.
Medicine. Oh my God, thank you so much.
Yeah, but guys, thank you for watching, and do the whole like, subscribe, follow us, follow Whiskey Doll on her Instagram. Follow. Do you have an Instagram?
I do.
Do you want to get followed?
No.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you so much.